Welcome back to another live session. My name is Glenn, Mr. Cologne 76, and I'm back again today with Trill Noel of Xarmony Perfumes. This is a brother that's been crushing it in the niche perfume space, the artisanal perfume space, and I get to bring him on to learn a little bit more of his brand and introduce a new audience to Trill Xarmony's work. Really excited about today's live. If you have spent any time within Fragcom in the last couple months, there is no doubt you would have heard about the brother that I'm bringing on. And I'm super excited that I get a chance to have a conversation with him. But not only that, introduce new people to his brand. My scent of the day actually comes from this house. It's a fragrance that I smelled, and I remember distinctly the night when I sampled that fragrance. I called him up and I was just like, bro, what you got going on here is something else. So we're going to be talking about that. Let me put a comment up here so y'all know who and what's going on. Boom, comment is up. So I'm not going to waste any time because today's live is a little bit shorter than normal. I want to kind of keep things within about 35 minutes. So Trill, drop a comment and I will bring you on cam. I think I saw him in the chat just now. So Trill, drop a comment so that I could bring you on because I'm really excited about my conversation with Trill today. Shout out to Super Fragrance Lover. He's a real big fan of the brand. I don't know how many fragrances Super Fragrance Lover has in his collection from the house, but I'll be curious to know which fragrances of his are in his collection. So make some noise, y'all. We're about to bring on a brother. He appears on Instagram Lives wearing all red or all white. Let's see what color he's popping on in today. What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's up, Mr. Cologne?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. What about yourself?
You know, I'm excited. I had a little bit of a long day, but knowing that I was getting ready to come on with you this evening has really kept my momentum going today. And I'm just happy to be here, man. I'm really honored that I get to bring you on. You know, there was a time where it wasn't that easy to find people to bring on an Instagram Live. And now I feel blessed that people actually want to come on and have a conversation with me, man. So I'm really happy and honored to be here.
I appreciate the opportunity. As I said, I'm always thankful to do a live with anybody in the community, but someone as prestigious as yourself in this community, it deserves respects and honors. So
Well,
one bow to the house of Mr. Cologne 76.
hey, thanks, man. You know, you mentioned the word prestigious, and I really don't consider myself a prestigious person. I tell people all the time that I'm a regular guy from a small island. I grew up on a farm, but I love to smell good. And today I certainly felt prestigious. I don't know if you want to hear what I was wearing
Yes.
today. Um, Today, from the House of Xarmony Perfumes, I wore Cleopatra. This, for starters, I'm going to go out on a branch here and say that this is the strongest fragrance in my collection. Strongest fragrance in my collection. There are people that are primarily concerned with projection, longevity. If you happen to like the smell of Cleopatra, you can put all of those concerns about longevity, about projection to bed because this thing was going from I sprayed this on about 5 o'clock this morning. It's 5:30 now, so I showered about an hour ago and I had to wash it off. It was still projecting off my skin at the 12-hour mark. So if you have concerns about longevity, this right here, you could put that to bed. But before we dive into your style of perfumery and all of those other good things, would you tell us, who is Trill Noel?
So, in terms of what I do and who I am, I actually went to college for digital engineering and digital art and art history. I have a master's in digital engineering, bachelor's in art history and digital art. So I'm an engineer by trade. I do coding, I do computers, all that other stuff. and VFX, digital graphics. So like I could make the movie Spider-Man from scratch by myself without any cameras, no actors. I could make it all 3D if I wanted. I actually know how to do every single step of that. Somehow during COVID, this turned into perfumery. But the reason why is so intriguing to me because I couldn't find what I was searching for on the market. I wanted some mint forward fragrances, some fragrances that actually put mint into a prestigious light, something of the niche level, something like, you know, exquisite, not just, yes, she's one of those projects. She and her and Primal were the first two massive mint niche level fragrances that I created. And Cleo to this day is one of the strongest things that I've made, as you said earlier. Her projection at 20 hours is still like here. So it's ridiculous. I love her to death for that. But personally, in terms of perfumery, what I ended up doing once I started getting into it is taking my artistic background, the creativity that I learned, the artists that I used to study. You know, I used to study paintings, painters, time periods, from neoclassical to the Renaissance, just different genres of art in history and time. And people would make things differently in each period. And I think in terms of perfumery, we can say the same thing. Nowadays, people make things differently than they would have painted them back in the day, the 1800s and the 1900s. So when it comes to my brand and the work that I've done, I take my canvas and I use different brushstrokes. I use different colors. I use a palette knife instead of a paintbrush. So I'm literally working on a different scale, on a different spectrum. Hopefully people can learn to appreciate the things that I'm creating. It's still a nice painting. It's going to go up in a museum, just like the paintings that you get from your designer brands or your niche brands. This is just an artisanal niche brand, so it's a little bit different.
All right. Somebody wanted to know the name of the fragrance that I wore today. It's Cleopatra. Cleopatra. We're going to talk about this. Don't worry. We're definitely going to talk about this. So you took your art background that was visual and you popped it into something that was olfactive. What was that transition like, going from visual art to olfactive art?
So the best way that I could say it, and this is a terrible person to reference for it, but he's the only recent thing that everyone might know that I could say. Kanye West spoke about seeing colors. I forgot the term for it, but whenever I smell things, I also see colors. It's basically a trait of an artist. Like things that you interact with, you see things for it. So it's like I smell things and I see a color in my mind, and I'm painting in my head with that. So it's like, you know, I might smell mint. It's gonna be crystal clear. It's gonna be like ice or glass. It's gonna add like a shine effect over whatever I've put. It doesn't actually add a color to the canvas though. But then when I get to rose, it's a shade of red. But then I can make that rose a light shade of red, a dark shade of red, a crimson red by adding in X, Y, and Z to make my rose more smoky. Maybe I make some incense to it and a little bit of violet to make it dark and mysterious. Now we have a mauve color. It's no longer just red. And so I'm actually painting a full spectrum in my head whenever I do this. And it's like whenever it arrives to the right picture, that's whenever I know my fragrance is done. Because I stare at it and I'm shocked. Or I smell it and I'm shocked. But it wasn't the easiest transition, man. It was like, because it happened during COVID where the sense of smell was one of the most prominent things that people were concerned with in society.
Yeah. For those of you that are here, we're going to have a couple of giveaways that's going to be on the post when this gets reshared. So if you don't stick around to the end, thank you for being here, but please tap back in for a chance to get your nose on some of those fragrances. What are the giveaways going to be, just because people always want to know?
So, to the people in the audience, one person's going to get 2 travel sizes of any fragrance in my house, and the other 2 people are going to get Athena and Xiaomi in the travel size.
Nice. Now,
so we're going to do 3.
For the people that are always like, well, you know, how did he learn to make perfume? For the people that are skeptics, and for the people that are watching this either today or down the road that are like, you know, I've always had the interest and I want to do it. How did you learn to do what it is you're doing today?
So I started by getting a bunch of these things that are down here underneath. This is the stuff that I use now. What's under there is essential oils, fragrance oils, things that were like training wheels. And you can get those at Walmart. You can get those on Amazon. They're really cheap. And they don't take a lot of true chemistry to understand and work with. But you can start utilizing your nose to pick up compounds, to understand how this note works with this note. And then you move on once you feel comfortable and you go and you start getting these things, which are like individual molecules of an ingredient. So like this one ingredient here is like phenethyl benzoate. It's part of rose. It's one molecule in rose. There's a bunch of other ones that are in different bottles. So you start learning how to piece together a rose, how to piece together different things. For me, I started with mint. Mint was the one that I wanted to rip apart and make my own version of. And that's what my brand is dedicated to. Because mint is a universal ingredient that has a lot of therapeutic effects on the body and the mind. And it was universally sound advice during COVID to get mint or menthol to see if your nose was still working. And it was like, I was already out. My house had been covered in mint for years. I naturally would diffuse this every day. So it never bothered us. And I wonder why.
Yeah, you certainly have a knack for using mint in your fragrances. I know there's been some fragrances of Harmonies that I've smelled and I've gone, not for me now. There's been some that came back in the dry down and like, hey, I kind of like this. Cleopatra was an almost instant for me. And I still remember the night I was getting ready to go to bed. I was sleepy as ever. And I called you up and I was like, bro, no, I had a sample. I had a sample at the time. And I was like, bro, this right here is on some next level. And fast forward to whenever I went out and I bought this because I bought this because it was so radically different from anything in that collection back there. It was so radically different. And I also wanted to support you because I really admire, the cojones that you have to say, look, I'm going to start making perfumes, but I'm also going to spend the time to get educated on it because whenever we talk, you're throwing out notes. You're studied. You're well studied. And I really, really admired someone taking a stance and saying, look, I'm going to make art and I'm going to create perfumes for a segment of people that appreciate art. Why tell us, because I know the story, but why was that so important to you to create that type of artistry?
The main reason why, because it's like my life's work has been to create things. If anybody ever Googles my name and types in like Mongolia, you'll see a ton of art that I did for an entire society of people, an entire culture that I was a celebrity in their culture, even though I'd never been there for like 6 years. I made paintings, I made works of art, I sang their music. I learned how to throat sing, Mongolian throat singing. It's always been my life work to give artistic things back to the world. It doesn't matter which medium. I've done music, I've recorded albums, I've sang, I've painted, I've made 3D models, I've made film. Now I'm here with fragrance. It's another sense that I have not used yet. I've done visual, I've done auditory, I've done taste. Now we're here with this. So it's just in me to do that. Like I was born in February, and I'm actually a Pisces and an Aquarius. Very artistic. It's a cross of like art.
Yeah.
So it just goes with my astrological sign as well.
Yeah.
But I felt like the industry has only given me practical fragrances. Like this works as a summer fragrance. You're gonna wear it in the summer. It's a summer fragrance. It's what they designed it to be. This is a winter fragrance. You're going to wear it in the winter. You don't have any other option. If you wear it in the summer, it's ridiculous and you want to take it off.
Yeah.
Here, with Xarmony, I make year-round fragrances. You wear this when you want. It works when you want. You know, it may be like explosive in one season because of the heat, but that's any fragrance. But every single one of my fragrances has notes from multiple seasons, multiple genres. Because I've made a work of art. It's a painting. It's not something that's a practical tool that you just, you know, oh, hey, this is mouthwash. I'm going to wash my mouth with it. This is
Right.
a fragrance. I'm going to smell good with it. You
Right.
know, all fragrances generally smell good. They all smell amazing. There's not an ingredient in my lab besides civet essence that stinks.
Mhm.
And we all know why that is. But
Yeah.
it's like, so, you know, it's gonna smell good. But can we do more with that? Can we give the people art? Can we make them connoisseurs? Can we make them feel like they are exquisite and elegant and they have a piece of the sophisticated society that
Mm.
no one else has around them?
Mm.
That's what I do here. That's what Clio is. That's what you came back and picked that up
I
because
did.
you felt it when you put it
I
on. I
did.
know it
Yeah.
because I
I
did when
did.
I put it on.
Yeah. And you know, my wife doesn't really like this, but I still had to have it. I still had to have it. I know Super Fragrance Lover is in the chat. I don't know if he's in a position to join us for a moment. I would love to hear why he feels so passionately about your brand. So, Super Fragrance Lover, if you're here, if you're watching, I would love to have you come on. Or anyone that's watching this that has, you know, tried Harmony perfumes that have an opinion, I would love to hear your thoughts. Now, let's talk about Clio really quickly. So,
Yes.
you know, uh, I, I still haven't worn this a whole lot. I wore it last night and I wore it again today. All right. Got up this morning and it was still going strong. I was like, holy smokes. This fragrance, I slept through the night and I woke up and it was like, yo, what's good? So I put it on today. All right. So when you first spray this fragrance, you are greeted with mint. You are greeted with some rose. And to me, what smells like a leathery rubber. All right. It has a slightly petroleum vibe that I really like. Um, the only material that I know smells like that, oh, Super Fragrance Lover is actually requested to come on. So we're going to bring him on real quick.
Oh man, this is gonna be amazing.
We're going to bring him on real quick. We're going to bring this brother on real quick. I just accepted the request.
I
So,
appreciate that, Kevin. Thank you.
What's going
yo,
on?
Hey, what's up, my brother?
Hey, what's going on? How y'all
what's
doing?
Good
up,
to
man?
see you, man. Good to see you.
I'm going to start calling you Mr. Harmony.
Yeah, I love his work. I love his work. He's a true artist.
Yeah. Can you take us back to the first time you smelled any of Harmony fragrances? What was that like?
Um, I think the first one that I ever smelled was Aqua di Familia. And it's like it's like it's like a wrap up of every memory, every good moment you had during the summer. That's what that is in the bottle.
Mm.
Yeah.
So what happened after your Aqua di Familia encounter? Because I know you're a big fan of the brand. So what's happened? What's
Um,
transpired?
I mean, first of all, I had to get a bottle. I had to get a bottle. And then on top of that, I wanted everybody to experience how great that fragrance was. So I wanted to show my support. I wanted to help his brand. I wanted him to sell out, and that's what we did. So yeah.
Well,
I really appreciate that. So Kevin normally doesn't come into the spotlight. This is a man that likes to be to himself. And even now, this is something I've been saying about my brand. It changes people. This man is on a live stream. Is this your first time on a live stream?
It's like my first or second. I'm rare. I'm rare with it.
With other people.
Well, yeah, with other people. I'm rare with it.
So like this is taking Harmony as a catalyst of life. It is taking this man out of his element. He's on a live stream. I've never seen this before, okay?
yeah,
So, but
I
the
can't
real
say I've
thing
seen him on
was
either.
he came out and he made a whole video talking. This is the first time I've seen a reel from Kevin where he's on the screen talking about a fragrance. He's like, y'all got to go pick this up. This Aqua di Familia is everything. Go pick it up. I want him to sell out. And I was like, Harmony's changing people, man. This is something that breaks you out of your natural element, gets you out of your comfort zone, and makes you evolve. Because it did that for me, for sure. you know.
Yeah, and I will second that. Like, some of Harmony's fragrances, they're not the typical you smell them and you automatically love them. Some of them they have to develop. They really, it's really art. It's really art. And when you're exposed to art, there's a really big potential to like it. You know what I mean? And that's what I respect most about you is like you could have gone for the quick cash grab and make a bunch of fragrances that automatically smell good to everyone. But you were like, nah, I'm gonna make art and I'm gonna stick to my artistry. So I really, really respect that. So Kevin, any other fragrances of Harmonies that that grabbed you?
Odin
No,
Sweet.
hey, Kevin, you gotta tell them about because we're talking about the ones for your wife. You gotta tell them.
Well, I mean, obviously, Athena.
It's on my
Obviously,
hand.
Athena.
It's on my hand
Yeah,
right
you gotta
now.
talk about Athena. You gotta
Yeah,
talk about Athena.
yeah, yeah,
Athena and Chill Man.
yeah. That's on this
Yeah.
hand. That's on this hand. Can we talk
Well,
about
I
Seal Man?
think
Can we talk
Yonce
about
K
Seal
too,
Man?
right?
As far as Chill Man, I don't have too much experience. My wife has more experience because she was wearing it. But I can definitely say that all of his fragrances, they really like take you on a journey. It's
Yeah,
not where you just throw it on and you just smell good and it's like, I smell good all day. It's like something jumps out like differently throughout the day. Like you
yeah,
might be smelling sweet one moment, then smelling some oud, then you might have some peppermint, and it just takes you on a ride all day.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
I
Hey
love it.
man, we really do appreciate you coming on. Like I said, I'm gonna start calling you Mr. Harmony because whenever I see Harmony, like I associate because I had seen your post and I was like, that's Mr. Harmony right there. So
Yeah. Like I mean, fragrance bring people together. Like other than fragrance, I would have never known Trill, and it's so many others I would have never known.
yeah,
But through fragrance, it just creates friendships, and that's my homeboy right there. That's my bro.
yeah,
Yeah.
Thank you, man. I love it, bro. I really do.
yeah, yeah.
Kevin,
What would
Kevin has been a real trooper, a real friend in the community. The life of a perfumer is really lonely. Most of my nights are just me sitting in here talking to these bottles over here, telling them how great they are, that they'll be great someday. And
Like
it's just like,
he'll be up
because
at
most
2
people
o'clock in the
don't
morning and
don't
I'll
work
be
from
getting
home.
up.
So it's like all day I'm at home by myself in the lab. All night I'm at home by myself in the lab. So,
yeah,
and then Kevin has been talking to me, letting me know everything that his wife is going through with the fragrance, everything he's going through with the fragrance. It's been refreshing to actually hear what my audience is thinking or what they're feeling. Because so
yeah,
many people just kind of, they're used to doing that with those bigger brands that they also do it with yours, not realizing you actually care about what they think. It's like,
right,
I want you to message me. I want you to tell me your thoughts. I want to hear from you guys because
yeah,
my brand is going to be what you guys decide it's going to be. I'm
facts,
not established yet. It's not set in stone that this is what we make, this is what we do. As I
facts,
move forward, things that this community wants or requests or says, I'll be taking into account.
yeah,
And so with Kevin, he's just been like, yo, look, don't do anything with Athena or Xiaomi. My wife is all over this. I've never heard her talk about fragrance like this in my life. She's
wow,
calling me and texting me to
Yeah.
tell me all about it. She
mm,
never does that, man. So I was moved when I heard that. I was like, what? So she's a frag head now?
Yeah.
that's for sure. Hey Kevin, we're gonna let you go, brother. I appreciate you coming on and blessing us with your thoughts and continue doing what you're doing, brother,
All right, no problem.
for sure.
Thank you,
So
Kevin. Thank you.
I'm gonna get back into what I was saying about Cleo, right? So Cleo starts off, you get that mint, you get some rose, at least that's what I get. You get that leather, but it's a rubbery leather, which the smell I really like. There's a certain nuance in this fragrance that reminds me of if you go to a tire shop. And I know people are like, ugh, I don't want, but I actually like that smell. I like that smell. And there's an aspect of the leather in here that has that. And as so the majority of the day I was getting just that beautiful leather and I was cool with it. But sometime after like 8 hours, this started turning like an oud fragrance on my skin. And that was a total surprise to me because I didn't see that coming. And that's what I was left with from 8 hours to about, whenever I showered, it's almost 12 hours later. It was a nice oud fragrance. I was still getting some of the leather aspects, but it got really oudy on my skin. So Cleopatra, can you tell us what Cleopatra is about?
Cleo. So whenever I went to make Cleopatra, as many people know with my brand, I like to paint these paintings of history. Cleo's history has always been like this woman that's just like, a delicate flower and beautiful. All she was just somebody's, attraction. It's like, no, 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 no. See, Cleo was a woman in a time period where women had no rights or anything, ruling an entire nation. So she had to be strong. She had to be bold. She had to be powerful. A lot of people don't ever see that side of Cleo, and I wanted to take that into account. So what I did is I donned this to be a strong Cleo, a bold Cleo. And the smell in that bottle is actually the smell of metal. I think that's where you're getting the tire. It's a metallic note that's bringing about the gold and the jewelry and the armor or whatever she would have had on standing in the sunlight. The sun hitting the metal on her body, and then her standing around in rose petals. Because they threw rose petals at the feet of these queens and these kings.
Right.
So
right.
And she also believed in the goddess Isis, which is the goddess of rose. That was Cleo's influence. So I had to have rose in here, no doubt. And I wanted the metallic, like gold. I wanted her to just smell like rich gold. Then I put a bunch of imported tobacco in there, put a lot of some vanilla, and there's a sandalwood at the bottom that I think you were talking about, what you were left with for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
It's that sandalwood, and there's so much amber tied in with the sandalwood that it's just like, it's a vibe. It really is. It's decadent, it's rich, it's luxurious. But the strangest thing about her is that as she's drying down in the top, you get peach and lemon in the middle of all of what I just described. And it's like just this little nuance that escapes. And there's some people that hit me up and they're like, Cleopatra's lemony, Cleopatra's peachy. And it's like she has geranium in her. And geranium is made with an ingredient called geraniol. Geraniol brings lemon and geranium at the same time. But it also smells like rose. So it builds on her rose accord, and it makes the metal rise with it. So she's just like evolving throughout the entire day, just like a woman in charge of a country would have to do. And that's Cleo in a nutshell. It is the most bougie, richest fragrance that I have to date. I mean, whenever I put this on, I literally feel like I come from money. Like I feel like I'm a prince. My name is Prince Trill.
Yeah.
So
there was a question from our audience. Someone had asked, is it unisex? And I will say that, my approach to perfumes is if I like the way something smells, I'm gonna wear it. I don't see gender in fragrances. The concept is really, for want of a better word, foolish. For want of a better word, it's really foolish. And I mean that as no insult to anyone, but if you love the way something smells, wear it. It's the same way with music, right? When I listen to music, I listen to it primarily for my joy. And that's why I wear perfume. So if you like the way something smells, stop worrying about who it's for and just wear it. It's made for, somebody said human. It's made for humans. So, liberate yourself and try things and wear what you like.
So
I love the way, go ahead.
Cleo, actually, when I was designing her, it was something I was trying to make rich and feminine. But then when I got to her base, I started adding in some other notes that made it to where she's unisex. She's actually one of the most realistic, like true unisex fragrances out there. There's a woman in the comments named Kia K who's talking. She loves Cleopatra. She wears her. She loves her. So that's a woman wearing it, and I'm telling you, I wear it, and Glenn wears it. So Cleo is very, very unisex, straight down the middle.
I would love to hear her take on Cleo. So Kia, if you're available to hop on for a few minutes and just kind of give us your take, I would love to hear it. I know, again, I'll say my wife doesn't like this fragrance, but it's perfumes is one of those things. It's all about how much you've smelled and what you've been exposed to. And I think I've smelled a few more fragrances than Nosy Couture. But for me, this was from first time smelling. I was like, man, you got something going on here. Just something about this fragrance that pulls me in. So while I'm waiting for Kia to let us know, I want to talk about one of your latest creations, Athena. Uh, I let YP spray that last night, and it was an immediate. She loves the way it smells. So what were you going with Athena?
She said she's about to hop in the shower.
All
So
right, no worries.
if
Thank
you
you.
guys want to know about Cleo or Athena, she has them. So you can send her a message. She could definitely give you some input and some feedback if you're curious about a woman's thoughts on these fragrances. Now, Athena, that was designed for women. I only had one guy pick up a bottle.
I would totally wear it. I would totally wear it.
18 bottles sold in 1 month. $3,000 worth of Athena sold in 1 month.
Mm.
One of them was a man. Then he called me and let me know that he bought it for his wife. So all 18 of them went to women. Athena is the goddess, and I mean goddess, gourmand. She is going to take every gourmand on your shelf and throw shade at them. She's going to sit there and say, your husband's mine. Your husband's mine. Your husband's mine. He's in my DMs right now, so run along. Like, that's what Athena does. I designed her to do just that. She is what I would call, like, the troublesome friend that everybody wishes they didn't have, but they can't stop watching.
Lord have mercy. Now, there's also Chiyomi, which I really love the duality in Chiyomi. So Chiyomi, I've got on this hand. So you have like an earthy, kind of like, I imagine being somewhere by a river or a pond, and there's a lot of like leaves that have fallen, and it's really earthy. Maybe it's getting ready to be fall, so it's not quite cold yet. And there's that beautiful floral element, but you balance that so beautifully with the earthiness. What was going on?
So Chiyome is in Japan, and what you just described was actually, I smiled because it was like, Glenn, you actually seeing the artwork.
Yeah.
It is right after the cherry blossoms, the seasons of the cherry blossom ends. They've fallen on the ground. They're in the wind. They're blowing around, and she's standing there, you know, in the middle of Japan with some other florals, and you have like the scent of it fading. And there's the milky note that comes in, the nurturing, caring, loving milky note in Chiome. Like, her milk is layered and it's decadent and it's rich, and it's not like ridiculously explosive, but people will smell you like at least 3 or 4 feet away, you know. But she's not like Cleo level. But she's legit. She's going about 16 hours, I think, on skin. And I just really wanted something in my brand that nurtured and cared, and it offered some type of, like, I describe her as a warm blanket on your body. You know, like it has the love of mom's blanket after she just washed laundry. That's how I feel when I spray on Chiome.
Yeah.
I feel loved. I feel like I am a child of the earth and I am loved. That was my goal in making Chiome.
Yeah. Where would you like to see your brand 3 to 5 years from now?
In 3 to 5 years, I'd like to see each fragrance from my brand with their own unique individual bottles. You know, like different packaging, because I want to stylize each thing. Yeah. To add more personality and character to the people that love them and support them. Yeah. Because I would love people to be out there saying to each other, no, I'm an Odin Sleep. No, I'm a Chiome. No, I'm a Ching Chi. No, I'm an Athena. I'm a Cleopatra. And then I have things from the brand that support that imagery besides just the perfume. Maybe it's the box, maybe it's some clothing, maybe it's some shoes, maybe it's a bag. Just different things to bring out the character of each one of these fragrances in a way that people can actually make themselves into living visual art to carry that imagery with it.
Yeah. There was a question in the audience. Let's see, that question came from Benny Dominish. And the question was, what would you say for a first time of buying Xarmony perfume? I would let the creator of the brand answer, and then I'll give my 2 cents. What would you say to someone? They just stumble upon this live. They're like, yo, I wanna support. I wanna check out what he has. I don't know what to do next. What would you say?
So I have coupons on my website. I also have pre-orders available of certain fragrances, and I have something for every budget out there. Obviously, these are works of art. These are intense, very evocative fragrances. They're not going to be the same as, a $50 or $90 designer. These are made by hand. As I've shown earlier, the ingredients are literally sitting behind me. This is Primal up there. That's Yatsuke right here. They're like 30 ingredients per fragrance that I'm sitting here actually tinkering away and making fresh. So it's like getting something fresh out the oven. You're paying for that quality. You're paying for that art, that artistry.
Yeah.
Just know that you're helping a family to survive. You're actually helping, my kid. So it's like, it's not the same as just throwing your money at some designer. You're actually helping another human.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is if you're just starting out, I have a full house sampler. It includes all 19 of my fragrances. There's a coupon that you can use whenever you purchase that to save some money. It should be around like 150. And then I have 2 Gen 1 sample sets available and 1 Gen 3 sample set available. And that's all the fragrances in my brand. If you are looking for something that is more or less like what you have now, go to Generation 1. If you're looking for true artistry and you're trying to change your life and you want to be a different person tomorrow, go to Generation 3. It's kind of like, I make this saying to simplify everything about my brand. How old are you right now? Everyone in the chat, in the live, type in the comments, how old are you right now? Type your age in. Okay. I'm going to give it a few seconds and then I'll continue on.
Yeah. I almost forgot how old it was.
So I'm 31. And the reason that I say this is as you're typing in your ages and as you're thinking this in your mind, how long has it been since you've changed your deodorant or your toothpaste? Are you still using the same one that you've been using since you were in high school? If that is the case, that is why you are the same person today. And you're trying so hard to be somebody different. Because I thought about that one day and I was like, I've been wearing Old Spice since I was 14. I am 31 now. I have not tried anything else in the deodorant aisle. So I went and I got something new. I learned new things. I evolved. So that's the reason I'm saying this to you. Whenever you come to my brand, I want you to come with that mentality. And anyone you invite to my brand, please translate that message to them. To come with that mentality. You're not coming here because you want the same things that you could already get in the market. Just go get that in the market. You're coming here to get an experience, a thrill ride like none that you've ever encountered before. This is like going to Disney World and getting on a ride, an experience that you can't get anywhere else in the United States. Yeah. That's Xarmony Perfumes.
What are your top 3 sellers?
So my top 3 are Aqua di Familia, Athena, and then Castle Black and Primal, and are kind of like hand in hand, but it's Castle Black next. But I haven't sold any Castle Black since the beginning of the year. Yeah. So I don't really consider my number 1 seller.
Would you repeat again the top 3? Would you repeat?
So Athena, 18 bottles sold in 1 month. Aqua di Familia, it's at 16 bottles, but it sold 13 or 14 in its first month. And Chiome is at 4 bottles sold right now. She may still be going up. Primal is a 6. Castle Black is 9. So Castle Black is 3rd most prominent fragrance in my brand, but I wouldn't call it my best seller simply because it was something that like it happened in a small moment. It wasn't like year round people are wanting to get this one. Yeah. Primal would be next because people have picked up Primal consistently, and Cleo's right after Primal.
Yeah. Well, I know we talked about how to approach the collection, and I see that you create perfumes, but you also create content. What would you say to people that are coming into Xarmony Perfumes? How can they best support Xarmony Perfumes right now?
All right. So if you are coming to my brand, if you are wanting to help me make strides in the world and branch out into the world. A lot of you may not know this, but this month, last year, was the worst month of my life. I lost everything I owned in Hurricane Ida. And I'm still arguing with the insurance company today to get the money that they're supposed to have given me. So I'm stuck in a rut. I can't make my brand massively famous without support and without help. And the best way for people to help a brand that is this small to stand out, you know, in the forest of giant trees like Tom Ford, Creed, you know, just those massive brands, Nichene, Mason Francis, Kirk DeJean, is for you to give us a moment where you let me go in center stage. You let me perform. You give me the microphone and you let me go in the front of the stage. Let me sing my song. If the audience loves it, they love it. If they hate it, they'll boo me off the stage. You know, it's the same thing with your followers. If you're a person who has an Instagram, who has a YouTube, make a video with my stuff. Let me stand on the stage, tell my story, talk about my voice, the things that you got out your bottle. Play my song for them. Either they're going to leave comments saying, don't ever post this stuff again, and this is awful. Or they're going to be like, I want to hear more about this.
Right.
You see, you gave me a moment to shine. Now I can become the celebrity. I can go in a studio. I can go record my album. I can reach the rest of the world with my music. That's really what it's like. You know, a lot of people, they don't ever give me the chance to be front and center on the stage. They'll kind of like, I don't know, maybe mention me in a small little post, and it'll be forgotten. You didn't give me like the platform. You didn't give me the time of the day to be on your page for people to actually like listen to, hear, talk to. Invite me to do a live with you. Call me on. You know, I don't charge people to do anything. If you guys want to bring me on your channel, if you want to talk with me, if you want to have me discuss how perfumes are made, why this fragrance doesn't last long on your skin and this one does, just ask. I'll do that anytime. You know, and you're always free to download my pictures, my content, whatever I posted, repost it, share it. It's really a matter of having people who are on the ground that play my song on their radio. That's really the truth of the matter.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. We had a question here. Shout out to Grimey's. That's another black-owned fragrance brand. I have one of his fragrances back there that I enjoy as well. Somebody's asking, how can I purchase and stay abreast of a new untraditional fragrance and brand? So this question is from DKB456. Again, the question is, I'll put it up on the screen here. How can I purchase and stay abreast of new untraditional fragrances? So how can people buy your fragrances? What's the best way to do it right now?
You're saying if they want to purchase my stuff and stay ahead of the game and the curve?
Yeah.
I would get Cleopatra, I would get Primal, and I would get Yasuke. Those are so avant-garde, ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
People are going to start moving towards it as time goes by, as my brand takes off. There's already brands and people that are searching for mint because of me. You know, eventually that little burst, that little noise that I'm making, it echoes, it reverberates, it expands. Other brands will try to do stuff with it. They'll try to capitalize. But right now, Primal is the king of mint. It will always be the king of mint. It has 6 or 7 layers of mint, and it lasts 18 hours. It's an amazing fragrance. But Yasuke is an oud vanilla in Japan. And it is insane. It is like absolutely phenomenally the most addicting thing that I've ever created, aside from Athena. I will admit that Athena is more addicting than Yasuke. But Yasuke has oud and Athena does not. So if you were wanting to, I have specials on my website where if you're getting something like, if your cart is over $500, you can save $100. So you'll actually end up paying $400 to get 2 of my most expensive fragrances. And I am doing a pre-order sale right now for Chiome, which Mr. Cologne was talking about a second ago. Yeah. Chiome is only $180 right now. She'll be $270 upon release. Her pre-orders will end on the 25th this month, unless I get like an influx of orders and I may extend it. But next month I have some other stuff planned already for the fall season. Yeah. So Chiome is on pre-order right now if you guys want to pick that up. She's my newest release, so that's how you would stay ahead of the curve, by supporting the newest thing that an avant-garde brand has released to the market.
Yeah, and somebody was asking what the website is. I think usually what I do is I go to the Instagram page and I click the link in bio to find the website. So it's Harmony is Xarmony harmony.net, or you can go to Trill's web Instagram page, and you can just click the link in the bio. It's not that difficult to find. You can find him on his personal page.
So for anybody out there, Harmony is spelled with an X where the H should be, because in Mongolian, Har means black. It has something to do with the blackness of yin and yang, so I called it Harmony.
Got it. Well, I will leave things open for a few minutes, take a couple of questions, then we're going to wrap up. Again, I'm going to repost this on my page. We're going to have a giveaway. Did you send me the stuff for the giveaway?
I'm gonna do that in a sec. Before we do that, I wanna wrap up on Athena. I never got to get notes from her. And I have enough supply left to make 2 bottles of Athena. If anybody wants to pick up this goddess gourmand, message me after this live, and I'll send you a code to save $100 on her. So, because I want to get those 2 bottles out so I can focus on Chiome for the rest of the month. But the notes for Athena are as follows. If you are a gourmand lover, if you love being sweet, if you want to be a whole entree instead of just a snack, you want Athena. Okay, her notes. Are you guys ready for this?
Ready, let's do it.
Caramelized sugar, French vanilla, cotton candy, creme brulee, honeysuckle, brown sugar, vanilla bean, maple syrup, burnt sugar, strawberry, raspberry, cinnamon, chocolate, caramel, vanilla, honey, sugar, and spice, with the mint garnish on the top. Delicious. Delicious.
I got a toothache just hearing it, but I got it on my hand. It's beautiful. When wifey sprayed this on her hand last night, there was immediate smile on her face, and she was like, "This is nice." So, you know, what I mean, it was an automatic for her. We never did talk about Ching Shi, but this is another fave of mine from the collection. It may be, feminine by some standards, but again, I enjoy wearing this. I love the way it unfolds on my skin.
So Ching Shi is the form. I love that you brought her up because I forgot. Ching Shi was the former queen of Harmony. She literally was. Athena was just like, "Get off the throne. It's mine. Move. Get out the way. Get." Athena just came in and she was just like, "Nope, it's my throne now." But before that, Ching Shi was the most empowering, most phenomenal fragrance in my brand for women. Now it's Athena. So I would say you need both of them. Ching Shi is peaches and cream, jasmine, vanilla, amber, bay rum, and gunpowder. Yeah.
I love what you're doing. I want you to continue shining, continue rising, continue developing your brand. I'm just looking forward to that day when all of these fragrances are in their own, bottle, like you say. So Ching Shi will have a special look. Cleo will have a special look.
I want her in like a boat. She needs a boat.
Yeah, and at that point, if you have these bottles in your collection, you'll be like, man, I wish I had some of the, first generation bottles. But a lot of brands start off like this, and then they either get an investor or they sell enough that they can, start getting custom made bottles. But at the end of the day, you're an artisanal perfumer. We love your work, and even these bottles, I'm totally okay with it. Just me personally.
So the reason, for those of you that don't know, the reason why I chose those bottles is because they're actually protective to your fragrance. They have a layered frosted glass. It's not clear like most bottles that are sold to you, which means UV rays don't penetrate through to the liquid on the inside. That's the reason why I went with those bottles. It's very protective of the amazingness, this work of art that I've put inside. You're spending so much on it. The least I could do is protect it for you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let's see if we have any questions in the audience.
But yeah, my my main summary about my brand and the way that I work is it's not about the bottle. It's about what I've put inside of it. It's about the art that you're going to get when you wear it. It's about what stories it's going to tell to you and the people around you. You see, you wear Xarmony for yourself. It's not something that some of these, I mean, you obviously can put on for everyone around you, but Xarmony is a brand that promotes being worn for the self. It's about your mentality. It's about building your mind, sharpening your life. You know, you don't need to put this on for your coworkers' benefit. Putting this on because it makes you feel good throughout the day. It makes you feel better. It makes you feel more sophisticated. That's the secret to life.
Yes, sir. Let's see here. We got a question here in the thing. Somebody said release Odin Wake. Is there one called Odin Wake?
So Odin Wake is a secret. It is a Xarmony secret. There are some secret blends on my website that are available. When you go through the perfume store, you might scroll around and find some new things there.
Okay.
Odin Wake was an earthy version of Odin Sleep that I ended up secretly making one day, and I wore it and I fell in love with it, but I never actually fully released it. The problem is people always hit me up and they're like, what are you working on? What do you have? Send me some new samples of that secret thing that you're doing. And I've done that, and they're all just like, Odin Wake, Odin Wake, Odin Wake, make it. So
Speaking of,
we have a question about personal favorite. That's why I prefer indie brands and stand out. Okay, personal favorite for me, Primal. Hands down Primal. But Yasuke is circulating to a point where, like, one day it is Yasuke, but 99% of the time it's Primal. They're doing a tango.
This is my
doing a little bit of a tango.
This is my bag of Xarmony samples. So I'm gonna pull out Primal. So any hints on what you're working on for the fall?
Oh, don't get me started on this. I'm actually gonna be doing something really special for the fall. It's probably gonna be like some one-off type of release, but I'm looking at making something with pumpkin spice. I'm looking at making something with mint chocolate chip and chai. Because I didn't do fall last year. Like I said, I lost my house. I was in the most depressed place that I've ever been. And the community really helped me get out of that. And I give my thanks to all of you guys that were involved in that process. But this year, I'm at a good place. My mind is happy. When the fall comes, I want to make everyone else happy. And I think if I made something with those ingredients, people would love it. And the big one, oud mint. Oud mint.
Yeah. So Primal, I hadn't experienced this in Primal before, but there's something animalic under there. What is that? What is that?
So whenever you got Primal, it was probably spring, maybe end of winter. Primal is actually a summer fragrance, even though it has a ton of mint. Whenever you go outside in the sunlight with Primal, your body will actually feel cold. It's an experience. It's not just a scent. It's literally meant to freeze you, to make you feel like ice with an animal trapped inside. The ice melts away, and that animal musk comes out. But at the same time, Primal is very unisex. It has chocolate and it has cinnamon. It has some sweetness in it, a little bit of like almost gourmandiness to it. But it's in the middle of a forest. The way to describe Primal is something that comes from the time before time. It literally smells like something that doesn't exist in our world, in our realm. It's something from like before time even started. It's a conundrum of ingredients blended together in a way that there's no way to describe it to anyone. Like, honestly, if you guys are looking for the most phenomenal experience with a fragrance ever, get Primal.
All right. I'm looking forward to that oud mint. I don't think I've come across that before, so hurry up.
Yes. I am working on that one. I'm looking forward to it. And there's also one called Genghis that I'm going to be doing too. That's going to have at least 4 or 5 animals in it. Mongolia is a land of roaming animals. They roam free over there. They have horses running wild in the countryside, just hundreds of them. You can get a stampede of them randomly if you're camping out there. Be careful. But
Nice,
they also
nice.
have like reindeer, and people ride reindeer. Like they have a saddle for the reindeer. It's insane. I love their culture. I love their history. So I'm gonna make one for Genghis too. But Oud Mint is gonna be like the simplistic one that I think everyone's just gonna have to pick up.
All right. Well, we'll be looking forward. Hey, I'm going to wrap things up. I want to say thank you to the audience. We've had a really nice crowd. I don't do my lives as often as I used to, but it was really nice to come on, have a wonderful conversation, have great questions and participation from the audience. So thank you all for showing up and supporting. We only posted about this today, right? Or was it today?
It was today, and we had 50 viewers, and I was just like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah. So, it's definitely an indication of the support. Excuse
Man,
me,
you guys have my heart seriously.
yeah.
Which is why I want to give away to 3 people. The rules for the giveaway are for you to follow the hashtag Harmony. To do that, you just need to find any post with hashtag Harmony, click on it, or you can type it into your search bar, and then you click the word follow. It'll make it to where any post that has Harmony as a hashtag will appear in your feed. The second is you got to share either Chiome or Athena's notes, which are listed on my page, and that's it.
All right.
I'm gonna pick in the next. I'll give it 2 days. So 2 days from today, so August 18th, I'm gonna pick 3 people that have done those 2 things.
All right.
So that to
So
repeat, follow the hashtag. Oh, you go ahead, Glenn.
follow the hashtag and also share the notes of Chiomi or Athena. Where share it in their stories?
Yes. Make sure you
Okay.
tag me when you share it to your story.
All right.
So if you go
Y'all
on my
heard the
page
man.
and you scroll down, you'll see a bunch of posts about Athena, a bunch of posts about Chiome. Just share any of them that have her notes in it, and then tag me in that post on your story. That's it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Hey, Trill, it's been a pleasure, man. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, yes, it has. Thank you so much, Glenn. I really appreciate it. You sitting out this evening, talking about the brand, talking about the fragrances. And I encourage everyone to trust their mind, to trust what they think they would like when you come to my house, and
Hmm?
blind buy it.
Yeah.
That's really this is a place where the fragrance doesn't lie to you. The
Yeah.
notes that I've listed, you're getting. So if you believe those are the notes that you feel you would want, try it. Even
Yeah.
if it's notes that you feel you wouldn't want, try it because it's coming from an artist, not a designer or a niche brand.
All right, brother. We'll be in touch. I'm going to upload this and I'll include those rules. And again, I want to see you continue to thrive and grow and do well. I love what you're doing. Keep it up, man.
I appreciate it, Glenn, and I hope y'all are loving those fragrances. You have a wonderful afternoon. Tell the wifey I said hey.
Yes, sir. All right, brother. I'm going to pop you out of the chat here. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's live. Again, I'm going to upload this. I'll list the giveaway rules and specify what the giveaways are. So Trill, just send me that information. And good luck to you all. Share this post when I upload it. And I'll see you guys on the next live. All right. Have a good night, y'all.